This episode of Bad Guy Labs is brought to you by nobody, because this is our first episode and nobody's heard of us. You're listening to Bad Guy Labs. I'm Jason Emerson.
I am Cole Koenig.
And we're just going to talk about shit we think.
Pretty much. I mean, I'm trying to think about anything else we should say in terms of like what the fuck we are going to talk about.
Well, I think some of my favorite things to talk about are snark, bullshit people think that isn't true.
Bullshit people think about isn't true is good.
Yeah, comedy, offensive comedy especially. Science occasionally, I guess.
Or science-inclined things.
Yeah, science-y.
Same thing with snark. You don't actually necessarily talk directly about snark.
Yeah.
It just happens to work its way into the conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. Not actual science, because last time I looked, I wasn't an actual scientist. I don't know about you. But
I just don't give a shit.
Yeah.
So that's how that works.
If the Simpsons reference to scientician was actually a real job, perhaps I could have gone into that field.
If only. I got a degree in science.
I got a degree in scienticionism.
That's getting a little too complicated for me. I don't know if I can handle that. Well, one of the things I always worry about with this format sort of thing is whether or not people are going to understand me. I don't know if I should be this reflective already, but I've had this experience where I introduce myself and I'm like, "Hi, I'm Cole Koenig," and people say, "Is that a word? What are you calling yourself?" So for people that are listening, people that don't know me, so it is Cole and then Koenig. Koenig is a word. It is a last name in this case. But
you totally ruined like a potential future image for yourself where you are like some sort of like futuristic robot with a one-word name sent back in time to change the life of one lucky lady.
As long as I'm not a hermaphrodite, I don't really give a shit in that case. I could come back as any kind of robot. Does not matter to me.
Cole Koenig. You could have talked like a Dalek and just, Cole Koenig must exterminate. That's sort of what I pictured. But.
Talk with a what?
Like a Dalek?
Never heard that word.
From Doctor Who?
Yeah, I don't know that.
Really?
I never watched any Doctor Who.
Oh. Wow.
I just know it exists. It is a thing.
I'm not sure, we can do the show anymore.
You weren't prepared for my lack of Doctor Who knowledge, were you?
Huh. Yeah, well, basically, it's these robots that sort of, hover around, and eventually were able to hover upstairs after CGI was invented. And they have, they look sort of like big garbage can thingies, with, they're silver and metallic, and they have, wiffle balls glued to their sides, and spray painted silver. And they have, one arm is, a blaster gun, and the other arm is a toilet plunger.
The best part of this is that I'm hoping that's the 1960s version of Doctor Who, but it would be awesome if it were like the 2007 version of Doctor Who.
Oh, they totally kept it exactly the same.
Really?
The only difference now is, like I said, with CGI, the Daleks now can hover. In the 60s, if you found a staircase, basically you were safe.
Mm-hmm.
And, now they just wrote in that they can hover and go upstairs, and now they can exterminate / plunge a toilet with much more efficiency and killing power. So
can they get rid of bed bugs?
Exterminate bed bugs.
Well, that's where my mind goes with that word sometimes, instead of going to genocide or just rampaging murder.
Some guy just drives up in an exterminator truck, and on the side there's a Dalek. And there's also a plumber who coincidentally drives up behind the exterminator, and there's a Dalek with his plunger prominently displayed.
This is the future of our economy, I have no doubt.
I'm gonna have to find you a picture of a Dalek.
Okay.
That's ridiculous.
I don't know, the Doctor Who thing. There were people in my Facebook feed that talk about Doctor Who, and so that's how I know. Oh, okay. All right, we brought up an image. I don't know what to think about that. It's sort of, because I was picturing something much more trash canny. It's sort of like a what's the goddamn thing when you play badminton?
A
Shuttlecock.
shuttlecock?
Yeah, it looks like a metal upside down shuttlecock.
Yeah, I guess I could see that. Whoa, there's some weird. So then you get into like fucked up people with their weird variations, like
The steam powered Dalek, it seems like.
yeah, it's like a velocipede Dalek.
What the fuck?
Either that or he's severely handicapped.
I'm actually surprised that for a Google image search it didn't bring up like weirder pictures. Like it actually looks to be all in the first 3 rows Daleks.
Actually, I had my safe search turned off, so I'm surprised it wasn't much worse.
Right.
Like mostly just tits and ass. Like page 1, row 1, Dalek, tits and ass.
A Dalek parody porn, Doctor Who parody porn. We have to find out if that exists.
Rule 34.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how seriously like the Valley takes or wherever the fuck they filmed that shit.
I pretty much, I'm not a religious man by any means, as you know, but I take Rule
Right.
34 almost religiously. I have faith in Rule 34. You know, to use the word faith, to throw the word faith around. You know, I mean that can be dangerous, but if I have
Fair
faith in anything, it would be Rule 34. And for anyone who doesn't know, Rule 34 basically says that if you can think of an idea, somebody has made a porn of it. Is that accurate? That's about,
I think so.
That's about the right way to describe it.
I think it started that. I think the concept, especially calling it Rule 34, has its origins somewhere in the bowels of the internet.
It's probably related to leet speak or something.
Leet, it's from like Fark or 4chan or one of those other like creepy basements of the internet.
Yeah.
That's my guess.
So yeah, so that was a weird tangent that I wasn't expecting. That we're gonna cover Daleks for however fucking long we've been talking.
And Rule 34, which is something that some people know about, some people don't. It's just one of those things.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to remember occasionally to stop and say, for those of you who don't know, you know, a vibrator is a tool used by women and occasionally, you know, some men too.
We're gonna have to start taking out like public service announcements if people don't know about vibrators or whatever. We're gonna start sounding like we're advertising for shit, and we're not even getting paid to advertise. You know, that would be fun, but I don't know. I don't know about that.
Yeah, I would totally be a payment whore. Like I will totally be a whore when it comes to like making money and like getting money from places that aren't me. Like that. Yeah, that's something some people call that e-begging or, you know, like being a whore basically. and you know, I get if shoe fits, you know, wear it, but.
Make love to it.
Yeah, Rule 34.
Rule 34, yeah. Rule 34, the shoe. Why not? Why the fuck not? Rule 34, though, it doesn't seem as much like an article of faith. It's really just, it really is just a hypothesis about human behavior. Is that anything in the universe that exists, someone will try to fuck it. Or somehow add it into the context of their fucking. One way or another.
Like, was there like a caveman like thousands of years ago, and like he like wandered off and like, you know, was looking at different rocks, like trying to fuck rocks, or like, you know, knot in a tree, realized that wasn't good. I don't know.
It could be. I mean, I think we're only more impressed by Rule 34 because we have so much shit in our environment. Like you wondered, has someone actually wanted to or fantasized about fucking like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man? Like, it's very plausible. You know, but that only like astounds people because we have such a thing as the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, and even then we really don't have it. It's something someone made up. Maybe there's like a felt one floating around somewhere that has been just ravaged time and time again. I don't know.
So you can't really find those as far as I know. I'm imagining, but. Probably some dude out there somewhere conned his grandma into, like, you know, sewing him up a big felt Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.